Evans K. Marshall, a native of New York City, he grew up in the city boating with his family on a cabin cruiser his father owned. When young Evans got bored on the boat, he was given a piece of papers and pencil and told to draw something. That is when he started drawing boats. He was hooked. He drew incessantly. Today, Evans K. Marshall is known as the American super yacht designer.
Hello, my name is Evan Marshall. I'm the designer of the Ocean Alexander 70. This is the first one of the series, and so of course it's very exciting for me. It's always great when the first of a line arrives and you see the ideas that first started off in here turn into a reality. In something like this, it's like a concert, it's like a piece of music. In a piece of music, there's never one sound or one instrument that's your favorite. It's how it all comes together. And really, for me, it's part of that concert of ideas, of elements, both from the design side that I'm responsible for, the engineering side that the builders are responsible for, and it's really that concert of everything coming together in all the areas I like about it. I like the fact that this boat has really come together nicely. All of that creates for me something I love because it works in its totality.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to bring you another series of Black Excellence. Today I'm featuring Evans K. Marshall, a super yacht designer. Good morning, Evans. How are you? How was your trip before I start?
I'm good. I'm good. I've just come back from a
How was your
lovely,
trip?
yeah, it was a fantastic week of sailing. It was a regatta out of Monaco, which is a classic
Okay.
5 days of classic yachts. My friend owns a classic sailboat from 1938. So all the boats that are participating in the event are vintage yachts. So the harbor, and I can send you some pictures if you want to show folks, is just full of
Yes, I would love
full
that.
classic boats, all
Okay.
beautifully maintained and raced very hard as well.
Okay. All right. So, Evans, before I dive into the questions for you,
Mhm.
can you give the viewer an insight on your educational background so one could understand um, how you into your yachting, your educational background?
Sure. Well, I mean, for me, the connection with yachting really came even before my earliest education. I started drawing boats probably as early as 4 years old because my father owned boats from the late 50s. So by the time I was born in the early 60s, that's where a lot of our vacation time was spent. And because this is an era before computers or games and mobile phones. As a kid,
Right.
when I got bored, I was handed a sketch pad and a pencil and just said, told to draw something. And I started drawing boats.
Okay.
So it really
Okay.
wasn't until then in college at Hampton University, I studied architecture. But by that time, I
Okay.
was drawing boats, regularly. I have had sketch pads full of boats and was pretty far along in my love for drawing boats. So after I graduated from Hampton University with a degree in architecture, I then went on to do a graduate course in yacht design, and that's what gave me my formal training in yacht design. And that
Okay.
was only a 1 year program. After my 5 year architecture degree, I just had to do that graduate course, which was a 1 year course. And then from that point on, I was able to go out and find work as a yacht designer.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Now, in this short interview, I can't cover all of your body of work, so I'm going to concentrate on two. I'm going
Mhm.
to concentrate on Ocean Alexander, and I'm going to concentrate on Diamonds Are Forever. So, for
Okay.
Ocean Alexander, I have a two-part question.
Hmm.
Um, please explain to the viewer how how does how explain to the viewer how you start with the idea in your mind and making your vision a reality
Well, in the case of
for Ocean Alexander.
Yeah, in the case of Ocean Alexander, because they are what we call in the business a production yacht building company. That means a model is designed, and much like a car, that model then is available for many people to buy. So when thinking about the design, first off, the shipyard has, when they hire a designer like myself, they already have a
Hmm.
particular reputation. And so as a designer, I need to familiarize myself with what it is that they have are known for or renowned for. Uh, and then what I bring is some of my individual creativity, but what we do pay close attention to is studying the market, studying the buyer, studying the taste of their market. This is very different from a custom yacht where you're really only designing for one individual's requirements. So the challenge with a company like Ocean Alexander is every model we design, we do a fair amount of research and studying who are their buyers, what are their expectations, and what could be of interest to them, could be exciting. And for Ocean Alexander, because they are building a yacht primarily for American buyers, we have to really make sure we're delivering features that that particular um, client base is looking for in a yacht. And so with Ocean Alexander, we emphasize not just the sleekness and attractiveness of the yacht, but
Hmm.
also lots of internal volume to allow for the owner and his family
Yes.
friends to go cruising comfortably. Many unique features like beach clubs, so that they can connect with the water activities such as swimming and jet skiing, etc. So we're always thinking of how
Okay.
to introduce unique features that make the boats appealing for their buyers.
Ocean Alexander, yes, Ocean Alexander was entering the um yacht club show in Miami, Florida, and you won. Your yacht won. Can you tell us how exciting and how honor that's an honor to be part of such a exclusive yacht show?
Yes, no, in fact, it was the Fort Lauderdale boat show where the
Yes,
35
I
R was,
apologize. Fort Lauderdale.
yeah.
Yeah.
And with Ocean Alexander, bear in mind, there are six different models. So in 2001, we introduced the model called the 35R, R for short for Revolution. And at that boat
Okay.
show that year, we won because each year the organizers of the boat show, along with NBC Sports, selects a standout yacht of the entire show. So this was the first year
And
Ocean
yours was
Alexander won it.
selected.
Yes. So what happens is the judges during
Yours was selected.
Yes, the judges come and visit a number of boats during the show, and then they deliberate, and then towards the end of the show, they announce their selection. And so, yes, I was very pleased because that was and continues to be one of our most successful boats for Ocean Alexander. It is also probably one of my favorite Ocean Alexander designs. I really think we got a lot of features right on that boat, and it continues to sell well. It was introduced and won this award in 2021, and the model is still going strong.
Mm-hmm. In Alexandria. Like it's like a car.
Well, it's like a car to the
You
extent
said
that people,
that model was
once the model is designed, the buyer has a limited amount
how
of
many models? That's what I meant. How many models?
We are, so bear in mind the 35R, it takes about 16 months to build each one. So every year, the shipyard is able to produce about
Okay.
2.5 of them. So we are currently at hull number
Wow.
12. The 35R is about a $20
Okay.
million boat.
Okay.
So the shipyard is limited to how many
Okay.
they can produce each year.
Now,
Mhm.
let's move over to um, diamonds are forever background. Do you think that gives you an edge over your competitor? Because when one walks into diamonds are forever, it feels like a floating luxury home. Can
Uh,
you elaborate on diamonds are forever?
Well, Diamonds Are Forever is a yacht we designed for the interior. With Diamonds Are Forever, my company was only responsible for the interior, um, and the exterior was
Yes.
designed by the shipyard, which was the Benetti shipyard in Italy. And that was a project we did for a couple that I've been working with almost since the start of my company back in the early 90s. So I knew their taste quite well. I knew that they
Mm-hmm.
always liked to have a yacht that was a spectacular expression of their taste. And Diamonds Are Forever was very much that. And because it was a custom yacht, we're really not designing for a larger market. We're designing one-on-one for individuals, in this case, a husband and a wife, for their tastes and requirements. Now, that also means that that taste isn't always to everyone else's liking. So, with a production yacht, we're trying to find an average styling where more people will be
Right,
attracted to it. With a custom yacht, we don't have any of that criteria. But
right,
it means that the owners of that yacht love it, but other clients of mine may find it maybe too over the top. So that's the difference between designing for a private
okay.
client and or designing for a production yacht company.
We all know that yachts are the toys of the very rich, and your talent has brought you in connection with some of the wealthiest people. Can you tell the viewer the process when a potential client reach out and wants a yacht? Can you tell them that process on connecting with the client and giving them what they want?
Yes, well, you can meet new clients.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. You can meet clients
Yes, yes.
in different ways. In the case of Diamonds Are Forever, as I mentioned, those were clients that I've been working with for a number of years. So, quite often what you're getting is are repeat commissions from the same client. And they do that because they're familiar with your work and they enjoy your company. Because a lot of what I do is also spend a lot of time with the clients, in a setting where they're relaxing, whether they're on holiday, when they want to talk about the yacht, or we're visiting them on their current yacht to talk about the new one. So it's a type of
Hmm.
business where you have to they have to feel
Right.
relaxed in your company and vice versa. That's very important to this business, the business I'm in. And then the other way we meet
So, in other words, you have to be personal.
Yes, oh, you have to be. Given the nature of the business, they're not hiring you unless they enjoy your company and are quite happy to spend their private time with you. It's not like a business transaction where it's a 9 to 5
Mhm.
situation. So if you don't have those skills or that
Right.
ability, no matter how good a designer you may be, you're not really going to get a lot of commissions. Um, if we also get contacted by yacht brokers who oftentimes have a client and they are assisting the client in looking for a
Okay.
designer. So they'll put my name forward and they'll probably put other designers' names forward. We'll interview with the clients. They'll look at the portfolio of work and then you get hired on the basis that they like perhaps what we've done. They feel there's a connection in terms of me
Right.
listening to what their requirements are and being receptive to that. So those are the ways, one meets clients, new clients. In the case of the production boats, I do not have to sell. Once I make the designs for the company, I'm not out helping them necessarily sell each model. Um, at the boat shows, for example,
Okay.
I might spend time meeting prospective buyers, but number of the
Okay.
production boats are sold, and I don't meet the clients. I don't meet each of them. I might come across them and be at a boat show, and they'll say, "Oh, Evan Marshall, oh, I own one of your boats. I bought it. My wife and I bought it this year."
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we really enjoy your style. But because it's a production boat and everything is sold turnkey, they don't need necessarily to have my
Yes.
involvement. I don't meet all of those clients.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Evans, um, your body of work is fascinating, and we'll be showing the viewer some of your work as the
Mhm.
interview goes through. But why don't you tell them the fun side of you as where to your boating, your boat racing? We would love to hear that.
Yes, yes.
One,
Well, the last two
I
weeks,
apologize.
oh, go on. So, for example, the last
Wait, I
week,
have some background noise. Go ahead.
that's all right. Well, the last 2 weeks,
Four. Okay, go ahead.
I've been in Italy and in last week in Monte Carlo, racing on my friend's boat, and it's a beautiful work of art because it's a boat that's been restored. It was originally built in 1938, and it's been beautifully restored. But at the same time, it's raced very hard. We've raced it very hard. And this season,
Okay.
well, and my friend does maybe 10 races a summer, a season. I'm only able to do four of them
What
because
about you?
I can commit to four of them,
Okay.
and then other friends of his, do other, will race at other times. So it's very much a camaraderie between, friendship, and then he has another motor yacht that comes to each regatta, and that's the boat we stay on. That's the mothership, so to speak, where we're plied with wonderful
Okay.
food and cocktails and can relax after the race. So it really is a pleasure to race in that way because after the enjoyment of a day afternoon racing, we immediately can jump ship, so to speak, and go on to the mothership where
I
cocktails await
apologize.
us
Yes.
and a beautiful dinner and food. And the evening has a fantastic chef and a wonderful crew, very inviting crew who treat us, like royalty. So
Right.
it
Like
makes
royalty.
yes, it makes racing fun. It's very rare because most, people are not able to campaign and have a support mothership in addition to the racing yacht, going to every event.
Yes, yeah, that's wonderful. So, we can say that your career, it's not just work, it's also fun and enjoyment
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's where having, developed the love for drawing boats from the time I was a youngster, this for
at a
me,
young age. Yeah.
yeah, it is my business, but it's something really I really enjoy doing,
No,
a
no,
passion.
passion of yours. Have you kept a lot of your drawing as a child from
Yeah,
your work?
fortunately, my mother did keep a lot of sketchbooks, and I do have some really old drawings of mine. A couple are framed in the house from when I was about 6 or 7, and then
Wonderful.
yeah, so I'm fortunate that because this is pre-digital age. So if a sketchbook was lost or thrown away, the drawings are lost. But fortunately, I do have a number of sketchbooks that have been saved.
Yeah. And thank you so much. I don't think we had enough time to do justice for your beautiful work. Um, Throughout the interview, we're you're showcasing your boat to the viewers.
Mm.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. I hope we have given them a glimpse of what it's like in the life
of a super yacht designer. But Evan, while they're fascinated, they're like, I want to do what Mr. Marshall's doing. What roadmap would you give that young person?
Yes, well, I mean, if I'm in an industry now where more and more people are coming into yacht design that didn't necessarily grow up boating like I did. We have a lot of people who are coming to it quite later in their educational life. Maybe they studied industrial design or they studied interior design. And many of them don't actually have a love for the sea per se. There is a slight
Mm,
difference that,
like yourself.
like myself. So, people, if they have an interest in design, whether it's interior design, automotive design, industrial design, they could
Mm-hmm.
get into yacht design.
Uh-huh.
The main difference is it's such a small industry that whereas if you're studying architecture or automotive designs, there's hundreds of firms, hundreds of job opportunities. It becomes much narrower in the yacht design
Yeah.
industry. But for example, most of the people I've hired recently, none of them had a boating background. They either had a very strong interior design background, based on residential interior design, or
Okay.
they've had in what we call
Okay.
industrial design, which as a course usually covers automotive design and product design. Because, a lot of what we do is styling, design, exterior design and styling, or
Uh-huh.
interior design, which is on the level of high-end
Right.
residential design. So, if someone has
Right.
interest
Right.
and they're getting a degree in architecture or interior design or industrial
Mm-hmm.
design, and they think they might be interested in boat design, they can always just start looking at different yacht designers who might, have job offers. But the big difference is it's such a small industry. It's, where you might have in the state of Florida, you'll have thousands of architectural offices. You might only have four or
Mm-hmm.
five yacht
Mm-hmm.
designers. So it is really a very
Wow.
niche,
Wow. Very
yeah,
interesting.
it's a very niche, profession. And of course,
I understand.
it is an advantage if people are familiar with boats, because if not, even with the people I hire sometimes, it requires some time to familiarize them with,
Some knowledge.
yes, yes. And that is only for what I do now, which is we call it yacht design versus naval architecture.
Right.
Because naval architects are the people,
Okay.
and I studied naval architecture, but I don't practice it. Naval architecture are like the engineers
Right.
of architecture. They're the ones who design how the boat floats, they design the mechanicals, the performance. So that's a whole nother um, route that people can go, but that's less about
A
styling.
whole genre.
Yeah, that's more
Mm-hmm.
much more technical based. And there are some universities like Michigan
Okay.
and Berkeley that do offer courses in naval 5-year degree courses in naval architecture. But again, that's very technical. That's not what I do. Um, and it's not
Right.
the
Right.
glamorous side. And there you have majority of that course, that direction of study takes people into the commercial um, ship design trade, which is it's slightly larger. Because then
Okay.
you have more jobs for people working in offices that design commercial ships. But yacht design is a very small, very niche
Okay.
profession.
So it's interesting that you said that. As an African American, even though you're living abroad, you are American.
Hmm.
You know, let that path. I didn't expect to have. It's interesting you said that it's a very small niche for yacht design. As an African American, that profession is not penetrated by a lot of African American. Like, can you give us a glimpse inside of minority penetrating that profession?
Yes, no, it's very limited, I would say, on the design side. I think I only know of one other person who's a colleague of mine in America,
Uh-huh.
who's a designer. Now, what we're
Hmm.
starting to see are some more people of color coming into what we call the broker side, helping sell
The broker side.
boats. Yes, because with the that and that's a huge part of the industry. It's not connect. It's nothing to do with design, but they are
Right.
instrumental in selling boats and finding buyers for boats. Um, but even as an example, in all my years of now the company is more than 35 years uh, in business. In all that time, I've only
Hmm.
designed a custom yacht for one person of color who was a black Bahamian, Sir Tiger
Okay.
Phillipson. And I do know that some of my Ocean
Okay.
Alexanders are owned by people of color, but it is a very niche, and I credit my father in many respects because in the late 50s, he decided that he wanted to own boats and go boating and go cruising. And that's
Right.
how I
Right.
developed my love for it and, was determined
Fascinating.
to pursue my interests. But it's unique to me because I grew up boating and I, had a lot of experience actually spending time on the water. And as a result of that, meeting people, establishing
Right.
my reputation. So as I, pursued work, I had probably as someone coming to the industry goes, a great a backstory and a background that really put me at the head of the class, so to speak, because unlike a lot of people who might be looking for a job in yacht design who don't have any boat experience, regardless of their ethnicity,
Right.
I, have been boating since I was four
Right.
years old, and have been drawing boats since I was 4 years old, and was extremely knowledgeable, in a nerdy kind of way about boats ever since I was a little. So,
Right.
all that gave me certain advantages that I was able
An
to,
advantage.
yeah, yeah. And a lot of people, as I say, a lot of people are in.
So
Mhm. Go
we
ahead.
would agree that your knowledge and background for both and your architecture background has given you an upper edge in your career. We
Oh
would
yeah,
agree
oh
with that.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean because I was able to both and also my creative skills as well. So because it is such a niche
Yes, yes.
industry, you're really having to show what your skills are and what you can offer people. So I think, I've been able to do that over the years and create some unique designs and that people really just admire and want to possess.
Hmm.
Um, and it is, as I say, it's
Right.
very, I even did know some kids growing up who were, children of African Americans who also their parents owned boats. But none of them, like most kids, just went on
Wow.
to have done different careers. They didn't, like me, develop a love for boating, so they probably have
Right.
a distant
Right.
memory
Right.
of boating
The
with
love for boating.
their father, but their career interests went in a different way. So it is that in that respect, it'd be great to get
Okay.
more African Americans sailing, either via sailing clubs and things like that. So they developed and they had, for example, last week while we were
Hmm.
racing off just outside the harbor of Monte Carlo, there were all these little sailboats from a sailing school
Hmm.
with these little 5 and 6 year old kids,
Okay,
talking
that's
about
nice.
racing. And
Wow.
that
Wow.
is something that,
Early exposure.
yes, early exposure, and it's not an activity that a lot of our folks have an opportunity to engage in, and it could be good to have even some sales
Yes.
clubs and things like that to offer kids, not necessarily kids of the wealthy or better off parents, but somehow creating clubs where
Right. Like
kids from inner
inner
cities,
city kids.
yeah, have an opportunity to sail because sailing is also on the collegiate level and amateur level and the Olympic level is a huge sport. And I'm sure we
Hmm.
could produce some fantastic sailors, but many of those really great sailors are starting to sail when they're like 5, 6, 7 years old. They're racing and sailing,
Wow.
most of their
Right,
their,
right.
their
Early exposure.
yes, yes. So yeah, but
Beautiful, beautiful.
when you do have the Yacht Club meeting, if
Evans,
you'd
I am,
like, just invite me back,
yes,
and I can always participate again in another Zoom
I would
session
love
with the
to.
club.
Yes, yes. Actually, the yacht club wants me to bring you in person. They were so
Yeah, no,
excited.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'll
Thank you.
be I'll be in the
Yes.
States, obviously around the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. So that's something.
Yes. Okay. I'm going to keep that in
Yeah,
mind.
keep that in mind.
I will definitely keep that in mind. And I want to thank you for this lovely interview. I hope we have inspires a young person, get them all work up and want to follow in your footsteps.
That'd be great. That'd be
Thank you
great.
so much. Yes. And I want to thank the viewers for joining us for this beautiful interview, bringing you guys Black Excellence. Till next time, Marianne. Thank you.
Thank you, Marianne. Bye bye.